Ignore this. It's probably nothing. So yeah, I'm finally sitting down just so I could tell you guys about this wonderful thing that I've been doing for like the past 3 months now. It's gonna take forever. So before we go on any further, hi, my name is DudeScout, or I guess DS if you want an acronym. So with this video, I'm gonna try to like at least explain most of the lyrics that I did for the entirety of the album. I'm not gonna do every single lyric that I did, but I will include things that either were like very weird, very like inside my mind type of like inside jokes that I did with my mind, and not that I couldn't like express it in the video, or just whatever was like very random. Time to show my play. I'm not human, he shouted. You are on the wall, sir. I just find that funny because of the mental image. I couldn't translate that into the video, and that's probably like a really like a reoccurring theme with like all of these translations, is that like it's funny in my head, but I couldn't fathom, because like when I see like something like "you're not human," he shouted, I was just like, okay then, so some form of alien. And then the next lyric on, which kind of like continues the story, is like, "You are on the wall, sir." Sir, I was just like visually thinking of like an alien just like T-posing to the wall. Next two lines are, "Unfortunately, I accepted the tax. Appendix 1 is still in the concept." Like, those had nothing to do with the original lyrics, and it's funny in itself. So why not just put all 4 of those lines together? Okay, another form of like, I couldn't put this into the video, but it was really funny in my head, was I always answered the phone at the door. Like, I imagine like just being something like, "Oh yeah, hey Stacy, you wanna like do something?" Like, I expected something like that. I ended up doing something similar. Like, I don't know if it actually made it to the original video, or it was just like something that I cut out entirely. But I remember just like going to the door and just being like, "Yeah, see, this is the phone. You get the joke?" But with like, "Your husband is blind," because originally I had something else that was like probably equally as funny, if not maybe even funnier, was "Oh my god, you dance blind people," or something like that. It's not as funny now, like looking back, it's not as funny as like the first translation that I should have put into the video. But hey, you know, like, everyone has husbands, right? And the last one I put into drama that I wanted to clarify is "thousands of celery in the field." I don't know where celery came from. I know where field came from, but I don't know where celery. I think thousands was like a word in there, maybe. But like celery, I have no idea where it came from, and I just imagine like a football field. Like, again, another one of these things that I wish I put into the video. I wish I put more emphasis in the video, but I didn't. And I just imagine like going into like a football field and just like filling it with celery. It was just like, "thousands of celery in the field." This is Assyrian property. I personally find Assyrian property like probably the funniest, because nowhere was there like anything like, oh, Iran, or just anything involving Assyrian or Assyria. There's nothing involving that. But somehow Google was like, "Yeah, that made sense. Yeah, let's just put Assyrian right there." It's just like, why, Google? Why do you do that? And then there's like one where it's like, "disconnect the cable and fall." That one, I only included that because like the other translations didn't make the cut, because it had something to do with either castles or sand. I really got anything that had to do with both the original lyrics. So I feel like maybe if I could go back, then maybe I could switch that with something else, but I didn't, because it had to do with sand castles. It had to do with sand or castles. So yeah, instead you got disconnecting the cable during autumn season, disconnecting the pipeline that goes into the house, and we all explode. Doing that in the autumn season. It's not really that random, but it's just, I never heard of you dying of blood. I don't know, maybe someone got the wrong blood type and now they're dying from it. Who knows? And this one I really want to explain, because it sounds really close to the original lyrics, but it's like saying "believe" on X birthday. It sounded so close to the original lyrics because it's like on that magical place, say "believe me." Like that was around what the original lyrics meant, and then like compare that to like what I put in the video, it sounded completely the same in some way. But I was thinking about it, and like, it's funny in my head, okay? I was just thinking about like, one day there was just a bunch of scientists like going into like going to Expert Day, like an actual like holiday called Expert Day, and then there's just like this random person just walks in and is just like, hey, believe in yourself, man, just believe in yourself. And then the scientists were just like, are you serious? Everything for everyone. Obviously that's kind of funny in itself, but I liked the way that I put the ad-libs after that. Everything for everyone, socialism. And it actually made sense because like 2 lines after that, it's just politics can be imaginative. It's just like, how can I not put socialism in there? I could, but didn't want to. And then part 2 of the blood thing, and that is, I never heard of blood being killed. And finally, the last one that I want to include is there may be some dream diseases. I'm sorry, give me some. It's just a story. Okay, first off, dream diseases in itself is so random that I just had to include that. I didn't want it to be translated out with something else. I think there might have been something that would have been funnier, but it didn't have like the theme. And then it's just like, sorry, give me some. It just sounded like it was just like drugs. I don't know. Dream diseases is the new bath salts, alright? Cover the money with the hoax. Again, another thing that kind of made it funnier in my head, but at the same time it was just funny in itself. But like, I think I could have made it funnier with like an actual visual. It's someone that's like closing a box and putting like money inside of it and then closing it. And then there's just like a bunch of people walked up, just saw that, and they were like, oh no, that wasn't money, look, a UFO. Something strange on the islands of deep water. Like when I was recording the song, I have no idea if I wanted to pronounce it as islands or islands. And I think maybe like in the song I actually like pronounced it both ways. Lands of deep water, islands of deep water. But like, I really want to pronounce it as islands, but I have no idea if someone's going to like take that seriously and just be like, wow, he's such an idiot. Oh wait, I was supposed to talk about the lyric. Yeah, something is strange on the islands of deep water. It's called the Marianas Trench. I'm in the philosophy of science. That's just funny because it had nothing to do with the original lyrics. And also it's like I even searched up the philosophy of science, and apparently that's actually a thing. The emotional impact of oil disappears. As soon as I think of the word impact and oil, I just immediately think of like some billionaires just being like, no, we're running out of oil, we're gonna run out of money or something like that. I'm actually a little bit more glad about this video because I actually put in like actual effort to like the visual things I'm thinking about, because like the line beetroot in the window, like that would have been very boring if I didn't actually like put something in. But thankfully editing me at that time actually put in some effort in doing it. And I think this is like the last video that I actually recorded with my phone. So maybe now if there's ever a recording, if there's ever a translation that involved the phone, I could actually now do it. Like, you know, see, this is my phone here. I was originally recording these videos on this phone. Alright? Shut up. Okay, I need a sugar daddy. Okay, so with I think the silver line, that took forever to get. That was like the very last translation that I wanted to get in order for this to not be like the most lazy translations ever. I mean, there was actually like pretty decent translations, which I'm gonna get to, by the way. For the original lyric that was like, please save me, or no, not really save me, please hold my hand, or please save me, something along those lines. For some reason, those lines could not translate. It just kept repeating over and over again. I had to almost cheat the system in a way. I had to almost cheat the system, and that's by like keep translating into Latin over and over again until I get something. But that's a story for another day. I'm not here to explain how I do these videos. I'm here to explain the stories behind some of these lyrics. Okay? If you want that video, please comment below. I did it again for the page, though that was funny only because of like the mental thought, but I was thinking of it being funny because it was like, I'm doing it for the page. I was like thinking of like some like rebel kid, or just like some skateboarder kid, something like extreme sports type of kid. I was just thinking about him just being like, oh yeah, I'm doing this for like the Facebook page, because I don't think he's going to be doing that for like a literal page, like a paper page, because that would just be weird. Okay, so before I even like mention what the next line is, just keep in mind this is the original lyrics up here, up there, and this is the thing that got translated. yeah, I don't know. Peter Pan woke up like regular milk, peanut milk. He wakes up like regular milk, not spoiled milk, alright? There's a difference. I don't know what that difference is, but there's a difference. And the most controversial translation that I put in here is, at first I saw Kosovo. If you know, you know. If you don't know, read up on geopolitics, alright? Because I'm not going to be explaining that. I'm not going to be explaining it. Open eyes, stomach dreams. My surgeon dreams of it. Because, you know, opening stomachs, that's what a surgeon does. Hopefully you're not getting murdered and your stomach is now opening. This is my world parade. I was actually thinking about pride, which is why in the ad lib I actually said pride. This is my world parade. Pride! I was thinking about that and I'm glad I included that. I should have actually said this like earlier. I think like in Fairy Shampoo. The older the member, the more nonsense it just becomes in the lyrics. I just find that theme really funny. Tough Mood 3. Okay, I said a movie in the ad lib. Okay, this has nothing to do with like the actual like thing. Because when I read Tough Mood 3, I was like, oh, is that a movie? And then I Google searched that and there was like no results that came up from that. Apparently saying Tough Mood 3 and just like putting that all together has never been said before in the entire internet, so that's new. Oh yeah, the lights are screaming. Okay, so before it was like bang para para bang. That was the original translation. The lights are screaming. That was added last minute because it was like, how do I pronounce bang para para bang in like a smooth way? And it always sounds like the original lyrics, so I wanted to change it, and I'm thankful that it just became the lights are screaming. I am the first one. That's Call of Duty reference. I think that's the only reason why I included that, was because it kind of referenced the entire Call of Duty thing. If you don't know anything about Call of Duty, it's okay. I don't really play that. I think the last game I played was like Black Ops 3. That blood puts me to sleep. I actually wanted that to be like a visual thing, but I couldn't. I think at this point I actually learned to use this camera, so I could have done it like that, where it's just like, it's like okay, let me like recreate it. That blood puts me to sleep, you know, something like that. I have to say that this is like the best rhyme translation I ever gotten was this. After feeding the animals, make the world a miracle. That was perfect. I didn't want that to translate out. There was like some lines that were funnier, but I didn't want to ruin the rhyme, so I kept that in. Okay, hopefully you appreciate that. No one is with me. Khan saves me every day. Again, contradictions. Funny. Yeah, I know. And also Khan, you're going to see that name later. Okay, just trust me. You're going to see that name later. Deccan. I was thinking about like Deccan Plateau. You know, that thing in India. Like, I was thinking about that, but I actually learned out it was spelled with 2 C's, not with 1. So that was a bummer. And then, you know, like the entire thing, like the oldest being like the most weird and random, that was true here. After I said the word Deccan, it was just a bunch of nonsense. Remember back time when it said like, that blood puts me to sleep? Well, this time in the second part of the chorus, it turned into, my husband is strong and I am fast. Apparently, I don't know. I guess I got husband 2 times in this entire album. Hold M. I was thinking about like a literal M. I was actually about to like make a paper, and it's just like the letter M on it, and I would have just done that the entire time, just be like, hold M. Like, I could have done that, but again, I was lazy. I couldn't do it. Gay Dream Deep. Blue background with leap. I actually didn't even realize that actually rhymes, kind of. Leap is not a word, so therefore, is it really rhyming? I'm actually glad how this came up. Keep your face straight. I'm stupid for the Euro. I actually managed to like visually try to show that, because I was like, keep your face straight, and then just like stop immediately when I say the word straight. Like, I try to like stop my hand and do it. And just like saying like keep your face straight, that's kind of like doing like a try not to laugh challenge in a way, and I just say something completely just try to mess you up after that. I like the way that I like the build up of it more than anything, like the setup, the build up of like what happened. I don't think anyone really appreciated, but there's got to be someone that actually liked that part of it. My heart was covered with the beard of memory. I don't know why I was doing it with my face. It was my heart that's covered, not my face. But at the same time, like, beard is hair on your face, so like, you see the logic that I was trying to do in the video, even though it doesn't make sense because I don't really have a beard. It's more like sideburns, there's a little patch right here, there's like goatee, a little bit of neck hair, and that's it. That's my beard. At the very like last paragraph, like at the very like last part of the song, I tried to change the lyrics, and this is what it got. Like, the world is corrupt, forget the description, take me to this beer. First off, I'm not old enough to drink beer, so that was kind of useless to begin with. Secondly, the world is corrupt, that's pretty true. And forget the description, it was kind of like a joke. I tried to like do something like forget the description, and I kind of did it, I think, if I remember correctly. It happened like a month ago. And yeah, that's about it. Maybe I could do this every single time like I do like a complete album. I'm sorry if I'm like really quiet at the beginning. I was just trying to see and not try to pop the microphone that's right here. As you can see, I told you to forget about it, but now remember.